that basically is not putting out an audio CD yet. It's just putting out DVDs of his performances. That's just something, you know, in terms of a different way of thinking about it.
Yeah. I know we have a question. Why don't you say your name and where you're from and ask your question?
My name is Gail Davis. I'm based in London and I'm based in New York. I have a question for the whole panel, whoever wants to jump in. My question is, we hear a lot about monetization, we hear a lot about digitization, but my question to you is, this really levels the playing field for all the artists, okay? How do you think the public or the consumers really have an opportunity to know what's quality music versus what's just a one-hit wonder? Because they have so much to choose from, they're almost at a point of overconsumption. So what do you think is a good idea for an artist to put themselves out there so that they don't have to be the top or Beyonce, but seen out there and their music is heard and listened to and accepted and appreciated?
Well, you want to?
I mean, I think that's a learning process from the audience standpoint in terms of how to really assess aesthetically what an artist's musical output is and what level it is and how you're going to do it. And to some extent, you know, it can be a little bit of apples and oranges too, because you have to. I think you have to have a gut, a really gut feeling about something, and say I like that or that moves me, you know. And then from there, it's a matter of you educating yourself about it. What are, similar artists, finding a little bit about their history, how they came about the music, and what other musics that they listen to, and kind of listen to yourself and kind of educating yourself. In our day, it was a similar thing. I mean, you pick up albums and you read liner notes and you hear about other artists and you go check them out and you listen to the radio and that would be it. So I think you have to really educate yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say the good news is that there's a lot of niche media outlets out there for indie artist music. So there's a lot of freeform radio, a lot of different blogs for every different kind of genre. So you can always find those places and exploit your music on those outlets. Back in the day, there was just radio and Rolling Stone magazine. Now there's plenty of places with audiences for them.
And one of the greatest examples of that, I think, is an R&B artist by the name of Ryan Leslie, who has a basically do-it-yourself machine that he's created. I see Jim Taylor out there, Jim Stand Up. Everybody doesn't have. Jim Taylor is one of the leading independent traditional sales representatives and consultants out there. Everybody doesn't have that type of person to work with the retailers to get their product into the system. But what Ryan Leslie has done, he's developed a social relationship through his blogs, through his website, through interacting with his fans on Facebook, that he can actually move product and encourage sales through his own medium and channels without going through other people.
Ryan Leslie is also a Harvard-based graduate who understands layers deep of the industry, social media and so forth.
But he wrote songs and stuff. If you ever sit down and he has a great team of people that he gathered around him. But this is the type of planning that artists need to do. They need to get cohesive teams together to work with them to implement. You have to start at the ground up. You have to get fans. You have to interact with those fans. You have to give those fans content that they want, that's substantive, and not just be like, buy my record, buy my record, buy my record. You can't do that.
Well, my last question is for the artists, whether they're independent all the way to a Beyonce. Beyonce had a father who fought for her, both on her endorsements and so forth. What advice would you gentlemen give to the artists out here? I'm not an artist, but give to the artists in terms of people like yourselves to help them build a team of people, like you said, like a Ryan Leslie or so forth. Where do you think that they should start so they can get their materials out there so that consumers have a chance to listen to those niche markets or whatever, just to begin to build?
Yeah, I can help maybe answer a little bit, or at least give my point of view on it. The one thing an artist today needs to look at is you are building a team, but there's a lot of technologies out there that you can take advantage of. So the one team you want to start building is over the internet. You still want your own website because that's your home. You still want to utilize free services like Facebook, You want to go on many different types of social sites and be able to, anywhere you're putting your music, being able to allow that music to be shared. But if you're allowing the music to be shared, you have to know what your end goal is. If I'm just sharing music, what do I want to get out of that? So maybe it's to sell merch, or maybe it is to sell ticket sales. You want to have it in a small little plan that you can just about write on a napkin. I'm going to do A, B, and C, and it's going to lead me to this many shows. I'm going to sell this many tickets and sell this much merch. And keep the plan very simple, very concise, and it'll slowly grow. As it grows, you will see fans that interact with you, and from there, you know what to do. If you know the intent, you know how people are going to react. And once you can predict how they're going to react, you can make your moves. It's almost just like any other type of business. But the thing that gets a lot of artists distracted is that they look at a big artist like Pitbull, for example. He's got a digital team, he's got a multimedia team, and he's got his record label team. The record labels, which they still have a real niche on this, is they know how to get songs on the radio waves. They know how to do it. You know, they got money, and they push and they pull and they get your tunes on there. Independent people, it's not going to happen for you. You've got to work the internet channels because that's where there's no bar. I mean, you can make your way through the industry and through the internet. So keep it small, concise, and let it evolve naturally, and then you know the roads to take, and the handwriting will be right on the wall. That's what I've done in business, and it's always worked. Never had a long-term plan or a big strategy. It's as big as it can fit on a napkin, and that's it. Everything else is just I don't know, fluff, I guess. So just keep it straight.
We're just about out of